what's shaking, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shay, and today we're gonna freak out. We're gonna do the mid-year book freak out tag. So I had FOMO when I saw everybody doing this last month, but the actual mid point of the year is like July the 1st. So my OCD-ness had to do this after the month of June, and I'm glad I did because some June books are some answers to these questions. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I will tell you that I have read 54 books in the year so far. The first question is your favorite book of the year thus far, and I can't come up with just one answer because I read such a variety of genres. I think that putting all my eggs in one basket is very difficult to do. So I have two answers for this. One is one that I just read in June, so if you want to hear a lot of my thoughts about this, you can tune into my June wrap-up. That's going to be The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi, and I absolutely adore this. I think I am in my gothic horror era. If you have any recommendations of gothic horror, please put it down below. I absolutely adore this. We're following two perspectives. One is from our male main character who has been roped into marrying this very mysterious woman, and he's been married to her for a long time, and he has not been able to ask her about anything that has gone on with her past until her aunt is dying, and they must journey back to the house that she grew up in and kind of visit and put some things right now that her aunt is dying. And so we are getting the perspective of Indigo's husband and her lost best friend that disappeared when they were younger, and we're also getting the perspective from that character that has gone missing. And so this is just kind of so creepy, and just I felt all the vibes. Beautiful writing. 100% would recommend this. In the other vein, you know, fantasy is one of my favorite genres, and I almost forgot that I read this year, but this is going to be the answer for my favorite fantasy novel, and that's going to be The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. It has all the things that I love. I love coming of age. I love a revenge story. I love seeing someone grow, and that's what we get with Tao, and we get a lot of politics in here as well. And so I read this and the sequel this year, and this one got 5 stars for me. The next question is the best sequel that you've read this year, and I have read actually a pretty good amount of sequels, and this one blows every single one of them out of the water, and that's going to be The Bitter Twins by Jen Williams. I am going back and amending my rating of this. I originally gave it 4 stars, but I'm going to give it 5 stars because I cannot stop thinking about it, and I absolutely positively love this book. This is book 2 of the Winnowing Flame trilogy. The first one is The Ninth Reign, and this is a sci-fi fantasy blend that is following multiple characters, some beast characters, and some war between a people and then aliens. And so I 100% recommend this because the characterization in here is just absolutely magnificent. Especially it shines in the second book. New release you want to get to but you haven't quite gotten to yet. Well, okay, so my 2 favorite books last year was Engines of Empire. Okay, the sequel is out. It's Engines of Chaos. I haven't read it yet. I absolutely want to, but now I think that I'm going to have to go back and read Engines of Empire because I think if I go and jump into this, I think I will be kind of lost and wishing I would have reread the first one. So that's the first one. And then, of course, similar vein, my favorite book of the year last year was Ember Blade, and I still have not read The Shadow Casket, which is a very long, lengthy book. It's intimidating me again. I think I really honestly want to go back and read the Ember Blade again also before I read this. So that's just 2 sequels that I really, really, really want to read. Number 4, the most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and that's going to be what I think everybody's anticipated release is, and that's going to be Lightbringer by Pierce Brown. I have been doing a reread in anticipation for Lightbringer to come out, and I am ready. I have to read Dark Age first, but I am mostly ready to go ahead and dive on into Lightbringer. Number 5, the biggest disappointment of the year, and this is going to have to go to The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. I was highly anticipating this. I had heard some really great reviews. Some of my favorite booktubers love this book. It fell flat for me. I loved the first 20% and then it kind of lost me and it didn't have enough oomph to drag me back into it. So this sadly is going to be my most disappointing book of the year. Question number 6 is biggest surprise. And of course, my favorite book of the year was a very big surprise, but this one also comes as a surprise, and that's going to be City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaeffer. This is again another horror. This is a YA, and sometimes those two words together don't quite jive with me, but this was so weird, so unique, and so great that I just love these characters, and it has a mystery at its heart, and so I would highly recommend you read this book. Number 7 is going to be favorite new author. I have not read multiple books by the same author except for one, and that's going to be Evan Winter. And I read The Rage of Dragons and The Fires of Vengeance, both of which I really loved. I gave this 5 stars. I gave Fires of Vengeance 4 stars. I am much looking forward to reading everything else that he puts out. Number 8 is going to be your newest fictional crush. And usually, I don't have an answer for this, but I do this year, and that's going to be Mr. Jacob from yours truly. I read this in June. I loved it. Abby Jimenez is a 5-star romance author for me. She's my favorite romance author, and Jacob is just such a loving, endearing character in my heart. Number 9 is going to be your newest favorite character, and I can't pick just one. I'm going to go with all the characters, and including the dragons, in this whole trilogy that starts with the Ninth Reign. I love it. Our 3 main characters are Noon, Tourmaline, and Vintage, and I love them all. And also our war beasts also have really great characterization. Number 10 is a book that made you cry, and that's gonna go to none other than Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. I read this entire trilogy this year, and listen, even though it's not one of my favorite trilogies of all time, I respect it, and this one definitely brought tears to my eyes. Number 11 is a book that made you happy, and that's going to go to The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sengu Mandana, because this was just such a delight, cozy fantasy romance for me. If you liked House of the Cerulean Sea, it has very much of those vibes, and I absolutely positively adored all of these characters and just this whole book. Number 12 is a book to film adaptation that you enjoyed. I have not seen any book to film adaptations, so I cannot say. The only one I have seen is The Little Mermaid, and that one was just okay, so I cannot answer this question. Number 13 is the most beautiful book that you have purchased, and that, of course, I'm going to agree with everybody else's answer to this and say it is Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. It is absolutely gorgeous. I have received a lot of gorgeous books this year because I am newly subscribed to Fairy Loot and Broken Binding, and now with this Brandon Sanderson Kickstarter, I love a beautiful book. And then lastly, what do I need to read by the end of the year? And the answer is going to be all of the books. Of course, there's Lightbringer. I want to finish all the sequels. I would like to finish Dresden this year. I would like to finish the Rhyuria Revelations this year. I am lacking 1 book out of that. I would like to continue on with Robin Hobb sometime soon. Just all the books. Really, I want to read all the books. I also want to read some Spifo 9 contestants. I just want to read them all. There are too many books in so little time. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the mid-year book freakout tag. Tell me what you guys would answer down in the comments below, and I will catch you guys later.